My name is John Zavodny. I am the president of the Maine Seacoast Mission. Thank you all for joining us here in this lovely spot on this lovely night to support the work of the mission, celebrate partnership and community, and honor two very special awardees, Diana Davis Spencer Foundation and Island Institute. The story of the Maine Seacoast Mission begins in the year 1905. For those of you who weren't around, some historical benchmarks include the establishment of the city of Las Vegas. Albert Einstein demonstrated that E equals MC squared. Maria von Trapp, whose life was dramatized in The Sound of Music, was born. And distant cousins, Eleanor and Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Targaryen, were married. That was a joke for the under 30 crowds. If you didn't get it, don't worry about it. It's a Game of Thrones reference. Also in 1905, two congregational ministers, brothers Angus and Alexander MacDonald from Bar Harbor, set off in hope their 15-foot friendship sloop to bring support to the lighthouse keeper families and communities along the coast of Maine. Little did they know. Here we are, 119 years and 7 boats later, and the mission still brings hope to island and down east coastal communities through our mission of partnership and service. Now we're going to watch a short film introducing the Maine Seacoast Mission.
To me, the mission means that sense of community and belonging, a place where people can get all of their needs met.
You never feel like you're an outsider or anything. You can just come, and it's so welcoming.
To me, Maine Seacoast Mission means an inclusive and welcoming space where everybody is invited to enjoy it.
Through healthcare, education, and community outreach, Maine Seacoast Mission is there. Since 1905, we have worked with the people who live on the rugged islands and down east coast of Maine. The mission delivers services across a 9,500 square mile area that more than 90,000 Mainers call home. These residents love and want to stay in their communities. They prize self-sufficiency and come together in crises and celebration. Yet compared to other areas of the state and the nation, these regions face increased barriers to well-being, such as availability of healthy food, secure housing, healthcare access, and adequate education pathways. For nearly 120 years, the mission's strength-based approach to health, education, and outreach meets people where they are. Services are offered through the mission's 63-acre Down East campus and the 74-foot boat, the Sunbeam. Programs supply food, repair homes, support students, offer healthcare, and encourage togetherness. By connecting people to needed services, they build on their innate strengths and overcome systemic challenges.
So in addition to all the programs and services that bring hope for nearly 120 years now, Maine Seacoast Mission has also provided an opportunity for people like you who have a caring connection to Maine to show their love for their neighbors living in down east coastal and island communities. All the major world religions include some version of the moral imperative to love your neighbor, whether it is the Buddha in me greets the Buddha in you, or do good to neighbors who are near and neighbors who are strangers from the Muslim Quran, or the Christian and Confucian version, love your neighbor as yourself. Since 1905, the mission has offered a way for caring individuals, foundations, and organizations to show their love for their neighbors in Maine's coastal and island communities. And since that first collaboration between Angus and Alexander and their relationship with the isolated communities, partnership has been the way of mission work. In 1926, the mission announced the launch of Sunbeam 2 through the social media of the day, a pamphlet. The announcement included this statement: undenominational in religion and concerned only that it is a real need to which it is called. The mission is available for service under all circumstances and in any place within its physical limitations. The mission cooperates enthusiastically with any agency, religious or social, which has a contribution to make to the solution of the problems of the coast. Enthusiastic partnership and living out a love of neighbor is deep in the mission's organizational DNA. Compassion for the communities of the Maine coast and collaboration with others who share that commitment are also fundamental to the community and philanthropic partners we celebrate this evening. The Maine Seacoast Mission is grateful for the support that the Diana Davis Spencer Foundation, Diana and Abby to us, have shown over the years for children, families, older adults, and communities. We are grateful to the Island Institute for your creative commitment to the partnerships past and present and yet to come in service to island and coastal communities in Maine. And we are grateful for this opportunity to celebrate 119 years of partnership and love of neighbor together tonight with each and every one of you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your support. So about the award, you'll see the two small awards sitting up here. This is a bigger version of it. It's not this big. I warned Kim that it's heavy. It's not that heavy. It's one of the little ones over on the table. The Sunbeam, the mission's 7th service vessel, is, of course, the namesake of the awards we will be presenting this evening. She is also the inspiration for the physical awards the awardees will receive tonight. As you can see, on a base of Downey's pink granite sits the steel-hulled icebreaker Sunbeam, representing the mission's lasting commitment to both island and Downey's coastal communities of Maine, a fitting tribute to the mission's work and to our awardees tonight. Thank you to our corporate sponsors. If you are here tonight, and this is always a fun little competition between the corporate sponsors. If you are here tonight representing one of our sponsors, we'd love it if you would stand or wave a hand, hop up and down, give some whoop-de-woos as I call your company's name. I hope nobody prepared by bringing props this year. This is always my fear, that one of the banks is going to start bringing flares or something. Okay. Our platinum sponsors for the evening are Bar Harbor Bank and Trust and Wyman's. And Wyman's. I didn't give that enough air. Our bronze sponsors are Billings Diesel and Marine Service, First National Bank, Goldman Sachs and Maggie Cohan, and the Snowmen Group. Our copper sponsors are Acadia Bike and Coastal Kayaking Tours and Machias Savings Bank. Our corporate donor is Front Street Shipyard. Thank you to all these community-minded organizations who support the work of the mission. Now, on to the Sunbeam Awards. It is our privilege to have with us representatives from our two platinum sponsors. They have each agreed to speak to their approach to growing community and to introduce our awardee videos. First, I would like to invite Robert Mancini, Vice President and Chief Financial Officer of Wyman's and Mission Board member, to come to the podium to talk about Wyman's community building work and to introduce a short film celebrating Diana Davis Spencer Foundation.
Well, good evening, everyone. Again, what a special night. It's great seeing so many familiar faces, and the weather has held out for us, so I think we're going to have a beautiful sunset. So, again, welcome. Thank you, John. As John mentioned, my name is Bob Mancini, and I am the Chief Financial Officer of Jasper Wyman. As always, it's a pleasure to be here tonight with all of you, along with some of my colleagues from Wyman's, several family members, as well as friends who have made the trip from Texas. As well as working at Wyman's, I am also deeply proud to be serving on the Board of Trustees for the Maine Seacoast Mission for the past 6 years. As a member of the board, I am truly grateful for all your support of the mission. I'm glad we could come together to celebrate the organization's work over the last year and work together to contribute to the continued success of all its programs. Wyman's has been a corporate sponsor of the Maine Seacoast Mission for over 20 years. The mission's work is rooted in a commitment to the people of Down East Maine and the state's outer islands, and is driven by a profound sense of dignity and respect for the families it serves. No matter how hard times get, the mission will be there, helping sustain and strengthen families and communities. I am a resident of Down East Maine, and I can feel the pride we all have in our communities. We at Wyman's also value responsible and sustainable community engagement and intend to continue our enduring sponsorship of the mission, in part due to our shared commitment to serving our community. We recognize our success as a large local business is tied to the well-being, sustained livelihood, and achievements of our employees and their families. Based in Down East Maine for the last 150 years, we experience and see the impact of the mission's work every day. When families have the tools to access community resources, they feel more supported. In turn, this can empower them to try a new job, learn a new skill, volunteer in their community, and ultimately be inspired to dream bigger. It's a perfect example of business investing in the youth and families of their community through the mission and receiving a positive return. For the last 118 years, the mission has offered programs that have improved the lives of tens of thousands of Mainers by meeting people's immediate needs for food, clothing, and adequate shelter. Through our EDGE, Journey, and scholarship programs, the mission supports access to after-school, leadership development, outdoor education, and post-secondary education. The mission has truly been turning hope into action for over 100 years. These are just a few of the many reasons why Wyman's continues to partner with the Maine Seacoast Mission. When we support the mission, we are supporting Mainers in need and actively giving back to our Down East community and beyond. At Wyman's, we strive to lead with our values, two of which are always to do the right thing and to continuously seek a better way. I can't think of a better organization who exemplifies those values than the Deanna Davis Spencer Foundation, one of tonight's honorees for this year's Sunbeam Award. What you are about to watch is a short film about the Deanna Davis Spencer Foundation, which will receive a Sunbeam Award for its committed philanthropic partnership with the mission. As the Foundation's executive chairman, Deanna Davis Spencer, a journalist and an activist, guides her organization's grant-making efforts. Her daughter, Abby Spencer Moffitt, a former business leader and entrepreneur, leads the foundation as Chief Executive Officer and President. Their commitment to preserving Maine's natural beauty and environment is built on their shared connections to Mount Desert Island. The Deanna Davis Spencer Foundation continues a multi-generational commitment to America's founding values, including education, entrepreneurship, and national security. Congratulations, Deanna and Abby.
In the late 90s, I had the great joy of meeting Diana on board the Sunbeam. It was just extraordinary. I don't think I've ever met anybody who was such a good listener. Their foundation, and Diana and Abby, are extremely humble. Just work very, very quietly, deliberately. The Diana Davis Spencer Foundation is devoted to the principles of our values of our founding fathers, and a couple of their key focuses in those regard are healthcare, medical advancements, education, empowering individuals to reach their fullest potential, and the list goes on. Those three in itself check the boxes with the mission.
The original foundation began in 1961. My late grandfather, Shelby Cullum Davis, was an entrepreneur, a writer, a businessman, an insurance commissioner, and even a speechwriter for Governor Dewey. So he understood the world in a different way. He started the foundation with my late grandmother, Catherine Wasserman Davis, because they believed that resources should be used to help other people. For those who are given much, much is expected. So we have the same philosophy at the Diana Davis Spencer Foundation. We are here to serve others and to make a difference.
Our foundation believes in the proverb, give a man a fish and feed him for a day, teach a man to fish and feed him for a lifetime. Empowering others is what the mission and our foundation aspire to do. They really are tuned in to the needs of those less fortunate. They provide things that are needed, food, clothing, even Christmas gifts.
Families have been changed because of Maine Seacoast Mission. Communities have been changed because of Maine Seacoast Mission.
They not only lend support, but they imbue hope.
Maine is my home, and Maine is my heart. And I am delighted to be here this evening.
I would now like to welcome Tim Shefflin, board member of Maine Seacoast Mission and a good friend of Diana Davis Spencer and Abby Moffitt, to the stage. Tim?
Thank you, John, very much. Thanks to all of you for being here tonight as we celebrate the never-ending, tireless, impactful work of the great Seacoast Mission, and honor two extraordinary partners, the Diana Davis Foundation and the Island Institute, with the prestigious Sunbeam Award each. Pablo Picasso once said, "The meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose of life is to give it away. The meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose of life is to give it away. When asked to introduce the Diana Davis Foundation, I thought to myself, gosh, what an honor, but how do you adequately introduce such an amazing foundation in the short time frame? So I thought I'll just talk quickly. No, that's not going to work. So, and of course, it's two extraordinary leaders, and it's very lean staff. They are the foundation. So I started reflecting on its very gracious, very active founder, Diana Davis Spencer. Someone who is larger than life, someone who I and the mission and so many others admire tremendously. And in my case, for over 2 decades, when I first met Diana on board the Sunbeam, where she was there to learn more about the mission. Someone who is perhaps the best listener that I've ever met. Genuine listener. Someone who cares. Someone who is present, someone who does so much for so many unselfishly, is chock full of curiosity, enthusiasm, good humor, knowledge, and integrity in everything she does, and is ever so humble, never seeking recognition. Someone who has dedicated her life to helping others in our nation unselfishly. Someone who is truly a gentle giant. You see, Diana and her wonderful daughter, talented daughter, Foundation CEO and President Abby Spencer Moffett, the apple does not fall far from the tree, to say the least, have clearly found their gift and are very thoughtfully giving it away every day in one way or another. I frankly don't think they ever sleep, and I'm not kidding. I mean, they're all over the place all the time, and it's extraordinary. Diana, Abby, and their family love our wonderful region here and have, through their mission-driven foundation, impactfully helped the work of the Maine Seacoast Mission with a primary focus on children, education, food security, and health. And they've helped many other organizations and individuals here and, frankly, around the world. Diana and Abby, you are a gift to the mission, to this special region, to our nation, and to humanity. On behalf of the Maine Seacoast Mission, it is with enormous joy and gratitude that I invite you, Diana, as founder of the Diana Davis Spencer Foundation, to come up to the podium. Thank you ever so much to Diana, to you, Abby, to your foundation, along with our heartiest congratulations and admiration.
Well, can you hear me all right? No echo? What a generous introduction, and such an inspiring evening. Thank you, Tim, and thank you all for being here. Isn't the Maine Seacoast Mission the best? Maine is where my heart is, even in the fog. In fact, our family have had a love affair with Maine, where we've summered since the late 40s. Now, perhaps some of you Mainers may think that 75 years might mean that we're still considered newcomers. As a teen, I used to stop by Stanley's Fish Market as we drive in and come to summer in Northeast Harbor and greet Mr. Stanley with, "How was your winter?" Well, his pithy response was always, "It could have been better." Well, making life better in Down East is what the mission is all about. EDGE certainly opens up a whole new world for these latchkey children, especially with mentors like Tim and Susan Shefflin's daughters, who volunteered as teenagers, bringing friendship and support to these campers. I've seen the joy on the faces of these children in the Washington County campus, playing tag or exploring innovative activities, even learning how to program robots. You all here tonight help bring hope to these EDGE campers and to other Downeasterners who may have otherwise been forgotten. As Lady Bird Johnson once said, "Where flowers bloom, so does hope." And so tonight we recognize what we each can do to bring hope to others in Down East. Thank you so much.
Now I would like to invite Curtis Simard, President and CEO of Bar Harbor Bank and Trust, to the stage, after which we will enjoy a short film about Island Institute.
Good evening. I want to thank John for giving my team the opportunity for Woot Woot. They never miss an opportunity at that, so we appreciate it. It's an honor for me to be here tonight, and for those who are shareholders of the bank, this is where we hold the annual meeting. I promise not to break out into a whole discussion of the financials, but in any event, it's an honor to join you this evening in support of the mission. Maine Seacoast Mission has been a trusted friend of the Maine coast and our organization for over 100 years. Their commitment to the island and coastal residents has never wavered. It's simple. They listen, they respond, and they serve. Thank you to everyone here this evening for your commitment and dedication that will only further the impact of the mission as they serve communities from Swans Island to Monhegan and beyond. 90% of the residents on the outer islands use the mission's services, which includes education, food security, and direct support. And of course, the Christmas program, which, believe it or not, isn't that far away. Remarkably, the mission serves over 700 students a year through after-school programs, leadership training, summer camps, family workshops, and of course, scholarships. Bar Harbor Bank and Trust's commitment to the mission has spanned several generations. Now more than ever, we recognize the impact of the mission. Their focus on educating the youth, supporting families, and promoting good health align perfectly with the Bar Harbor Bank and Trust philanthropic ideals. The mission has continued to broaden its programs and services while further diversifying its base of donors. Bar Harbor Bank and Trust has been thrilled to be a platinum-level sponsor of the mission for many years and many more to come. It's an honor to congratulate the Island Institute on being recognized for their enduring role as a community partner for over 40 years. The Institute has been committed to working with the island and coastal communities in marine economy, sustainability, and of course, community. This year, the Island Institute has been a leader in ongoing storm response efforts and has been facilitating long-term resilience planning and information sharing. Please turn your attention to the video, which highlights the amazing work of the Island Institute and the many compelling reasons they are being recognized here this evening.
Where does the
the sea end? And where do we begin? This is our livelihood. Our inspiration. Our classroom.
Acorns and everything else that they like.
Our traffic jams. Our home. And our mothers. And her mothers. And hers, too. Salt water runs through our veins. Ocean air fills our lungs. But when the tides change,
Recent report in saying the Gulf of Maine is one of the fastest warming bodies of water on the planet.
With sea level rise in years to come, Downstreet could be underwater.
so does our resolve. We turn to face the future head on, navigating the ebbs and flows together. Because together, our determination grows bolder. Our communities become more resilient. And our spirit remains anchored deep.
I'm sure you've all heard of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or the MCU. Well, we have our own MCU, the Mission Cinematic Universe. It involves people like Super Scott Planting, who's right over here somewhere, Super Scott Planting. But another important part of the Mission Cinematic Universe is a duo that I call Team Ingram. And I would like to invite Team Ingram, Ann and David Ingram, to come to the stage and to introduce the Island Institute, Ann and David Ingram.
Good evening. Thank you, John, for that unusual introduction. We are thrilled and honored and humbled to be introducing Island Institute and its president, Dr. Kimberly Hamilton. While we are from away, we have spent 35 years coming to Mid-Coast and Down East Maine. And during that time, we have gotten to know and have supported both Maine Seacoast Mission and Island Institute. For those of you from the mission who have been around for a while, you should know that Gary DeLong married us well before he became your executive director 25 years ago. It was Gary who got us involved and deeply invested in the work of the mission. We subsequently valued our relationship with Scott Planting and now enjoying engaging with John Zavadny. A hallmark of our personal philanthropy is that we like to support organizations that we can get our arms around, to be engaged, but not to intrude, so that we truly understand as best as we can how our support translates into real impact. We want to see a clear mission and goals, get to know and have personal confidence in the staff and board, and when possible, meet some of the beneficiaries or see the results of programs with our own eyes. Over the decades, we've been able to do all of that and more with both the mission and the Island Institute. It makes us proud to be partners with both of you.
We see tremendous value not only in the work of your two separate organizations, but the wonderful partnership that supports and amplifies programs like Teaching and Learning Collaborative and Island Institute Fellows. Both organizations exemplify a commitment to serving island and coastal communities and people who live and work in these beautiful but very often isolated spaces. Both organizations understand the unique challenges facing Maine's island communities and work to share hands-on, real-time solutions. We had a chance to spend time with Kim last summer when Island Institute was celebrating its 40th anniversary, and we were so very impressed with her focus on community impact and listening for ways to maximize mission impact. As an islander from Chebeague, Kim has firsthand knowledge of the climate and economic challenges facing Maine's coast. Kim came to Island Institute after serving as executive director of Focus Maine, a nonprofit organization working to propel the growth of Maine's promising industries. Kim's career includes prestigious roles at national and international nonprofits, including Feeding America and the Gates Foundation. Kim's leadership of Island Institute has already translated into a new organizational structure and renewed mission and vision statements, with a strategy focused on climate solutions, the marine economy, and sustainable communities. We're very excited for Island Institute and the communities they serve to celebrate not only Kim's first year as its president, but for this wonderful and well-deserved Sunbeam Award.
Kim Hamilton, please come to the stage to accept the Sunbeam Award on behalf of Island Institute.
That curtain is heavy. So good evening, everyone. And Ann and David, thank you so much for that kind introduction, and congratulations to the Dinah Davis Spencer Foundation as well. We are in very, very good company. 6 weeks after I stepped into the president's role at Island Institute, I met for the first time with John Zavodny and with Erica Hutchinson. And we met for lunch and had a chance to talk about our partnership, to talk about the history of the mission, and to talk about John's vision for the organization. And if I remember correctly, John, you were just coming out of the final stages of your strategy work, and you offered to share what you had learned with us. And that told me everything that I needed to know about the mission. You put community at the center of your work, and you shared generously with your partners. And those themes of community and partnership kept coming up in every conversation I had about the mission. 4 months after I stepped into my role, I met David and Ann, who shared their enthusiasm for both organizations and asked me more about our work together because we both so valued community-oriented work. And then I received this email from John, and he asked if I had time for a quick call. He said, and I'm going to quote here, "I've got something I'd like to ask you. Don't worry, it's good stuff." So those are the phone calls I look forward to returning, and that's when I first learned about the Sunbeam Award. And I was both overwhelmed with gratitude, but thought surely the award should be going in the other direction, from Island Institute to the mission. And here's why. I think it's fair to say that my staff only talks in rapturous terms about our work with the mission. We're working so closely together in so many areas. The partnership is seamless, it's meaningful, it's built on principles. I could talk about our partnership during the pandemic to get resources to outer islands, what we've learned from the mission about our scholarship work, about their scholarship work that has in turn strengthened ours, about the mission's participation in the Maine Island Coalition meetings where they bring such deep wisdom and grounded experience to those conversations, and most recently talking about the pressures that are facing island communities and especially fishing communities. There are two areas, however, that really speak to, at a profound level, to this partnership. The first one is our longstanding partnership around the Outer Island Teaching and Learning Collaborative. We fondly refer to it as the TLC. This is our work to make sure that those most remote 1- and 2-room schoolhouses, the students and the teachers have the support they need to thrive. And I can't overstate how much the Seacoast Mission, and especially Douglas Kornman, and I don't know where you are, Douglas, but thank you for your deep partnership. Douglas has been a trusted planning partner. He joins our field trips. He supports our online programming. And I've heard, Douglas, that you lead a mean exercise class with the students. So, and then I would just say, in short, this is the kind of partnership that we point to as an exemplar. And then the second program I'd point to is our Island Institute Fellows Program. We're celebrating our 25th year. We've fielded almost 150 fellows in communities on coasts and on islands. It's over 500,000 hours in community service work, and we can't do it alone, and the Seacoast Mission has been a deep partner in this work. Just recently, the team on the Sunbeam helped our fellow Morgan Carnes, who's doing a project with MDIBL to make sure that outer islands have access to clean water. The Sunbeam helped make sure she got out to those outer islands, and the mission helped elevate the opportunity so as many people as possible could take advantage of it. And Margaret Snell, the Island Services Program Coordinator at the mission, was in fact one of our island fellows on Isla Ho. So our organizations are entwined in so many wonderful ways because of a shared vision for Maine's islands, one that is shaped by community, one that is shaped by inclusion, by listening, and importantly, by trust. So to Maine Seacoast Mission, to John, to the board, and to all of those of you who love the mission as much as we do, thank you for trusting us as partners, and thank you for this award, which is in and of itself a tremendous act of partnership. And John, thank you for the phone call. This is, in fact, very, very, very good stuff.
Thank you, Kim, and all board and staff of our community partner, Island Institute. Congratulations one more time to our 2024 Sunbeam Award recipients, Diana Davis Spencer Foundation and Island Institute. Thank you for your dedication to the people of Maine's coast and islands and for your partnership with the mission. The awards are now awarded, and the videos are all watched, and the talking is almost over. Before dinner arrives, though, I want to thank all mission board members, both current and former, for your wisdom and leadership. Please stand or raise your hand. Hoop and holler as you see fit. So board, come on. Let's, board members. Maine Seacoast Mission board members, past and present. I also wish to thank the Sunbeam Society volunteers and staff who made tonight possible. Thank you especially to Ruth and Betsy for providing the beautiful flowers. As with many Maine Seacoast Mission programs, tonight is an opportunity to break bread, strengthen partnerships, and grow community. All that we're missing is whatever current game the crew and Islanders now prefer to play after dinner. I have a hard time keeping it straight. Is it Rummikub, Uno Stacco, Race for the Galaxy? What are you guys playing right now? All of them. Okay. In the spirit of mission friendship, I will now invite Rex Garrett, mission board member, to say grace before our meal together. Then, yes, let's clap for Grace and clap for Rex. And then after dinner, but before dessert, we will hear some very brief closing remarks from our board chair, Matt Scaves.
Let us be in the spirit of prayer. Ever-present God, creator of all that is seen and unseen, you urge us to love our neighbors and to give to others in need without counting the personal costs. You have acknowledged those who walk such paths of virtue as guides for the rest of us. We recognize this evening the Diana Davis Spencer Foundation and the Island Institute, entities who have heeded this call, sharing your love and their generous support with the people of Down East Maine and the islands. Inspire and bless their leadership and staff in all they do in the years ahead. Gathering together this evening to celebrate their good work, we would ask that you bless the food we are about to eat, that it may sustain us in our good works. Amen.
All right, can anybody hear me? Is this on? Hi, can anybody hear me? I'm gonna do my best impersonation of John Zavodny. If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, clap thrice. All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Matt Scaves, and I am the only thing standing between you and dessert. So I serve as the chair of the board of directors for the Maine Seacoast Mission, and I want to thank all of you for making this evening's celebration a wonderful event and for supporting the work of the Maine Seacoast Mission. Once again, I would like to thank and congratulate our newest recipients of the Sunbeam Award, the Diana Davis Spencer Foundation and Island Institute. Let's give them another round of applause. Congratulations. Our partnership with both of these has been central to the work of the mission. Their roles as philanthropic partner and as community partner has been central for the mission in supporting communities of Maine's coastal communities. I would also like to thank mission volunteers and staff, including program staff, directors, and administrative staff for their hard work in supporting Maine's communities on the coast and on the outer islands, and for their efforts in building community with all of us tonight. So, a round of applause for everybody with the mission. Thank you all. I would like to note that this evening has already been a financial success. Thank you to your generosity. And I would like to draw your attention to the donation basket in the lobby if you have not yet seen it. If you choose, you may choose to leave a donation to the mission. There are also envelopes in your gift bags that will allow you to mail a gift. And as always, you can go online to seacoastmission.org. Note that there's no Maine at the beginning, just seacoastmission.org, and click on the Donate Now button. As a way to thank you all again for being here, feel free to take the wine that is on the tables. Those are part of our gifts to you. There are a few different varieties. We've got a Sunbeam Sauv Blanc, we've got a Blueberry Pinot Noir, and the Mission Meritage, a Bordeaux-style red blend. Thank you again for coming. We appreciate you, and we appreciate you being here. We hope you have a wonderful evening and a safe travel home, and now you can have dessert. So thank you.